Just a day after the Hawks announced that Travis Schlenk would be stepping down as the team's president of basketball operations, it was revealed that rival executives believe Trae Young could be the next big name to request a trade. So stay tuned and don't go away, because Trae Young trade rumors, Hawk stars contract, playing style complicate future in Atlanta, plus 5 takeaways from Bulls win over Hawks. First up, is Trae Young's contract and playing style complicating the Atlanta Hawks' future? You're about to find out. Chris Hayes, a senior NBA inside, says how the Hawks shaped the roster around Young under general manager Landry Fields, the newly appointed front office chief, will be monitored closely. A source told Bleacher Report that Young and Fields meet routinely and have a great relationship. Atlanta may not intend to trade Young anytime soon, but the fact that his future seems so uncertain 1 year after signing a maximum rookie extension is setting off alarm bells for some observers across the NBA. Why? Because it's rare that a 24-year-old all-star becomes available. To complicate matters further, Young isn't the sort of player that you can just slide into any rotation, because his playing style and contract make addressing his overall value an arduous process. Hayes says that Young is ultra-competitive and has a strong desire to win big in this league. And while the Hawks seem to be on an upward trajectory after reaching the 2021 Eastern Conference Finals, they finished the 2021-22 season with a dismal 43-39 record, and were beat in the first round by the Heat. The Hawks rank below average in offensive rating at number 19, defensive rating at number 17, and have a net rating at number 21. Young and Dejounte Murray are posting impressive counting stats, but they're still learning how to mesh well together. Landry Fields still has time to tweak the roster, and now there are talks of a John Collins trade. The Hawks ownership has given Fields full discretion to make any and all upgrades to the team that he deems fit. However, even with some changes, the Hawks might not be able to advance beyond the play-in tournament or first round, and according to Hayes, Young is part of the problem. Next up, what makes Trae Young such a threat to his opponents on the court? Let's take a look. Young's playing style is what makes him such a threat on any basketball court. He's one of the most dynamic offensive players in the NBA, moves with lightning speed and precision, and he's a guard that's capable of pulling up for deep shots off the dribble and throwing balls through the tightest spaces. On any given night, Young is a threat to go off for 30 points and 15 assists. The only problem is Young's style doesn't work in any system. In Atlanta, Young is the system. He leads the NBA rankings in possession time, average seconds per touch, and average dribbles per touch. In other words, everything goes through Trae Young, but for Young, the defensive side of things is an entirely different ballgame. In fact, Young is arguably one of the worst defenders in the NBA. He's already at a disadvantage because of his size, standing 6 foot 1 inches tall and weighing only 164 pounds, and he often displays a complete lack of effort while playing on defense, routinely getting stuck on screens. So for everyone watching, Young's shortcomings are far more glaring when he's not on offense. For 29 games this season, he's shooting 41.1% from the field and 30.7% from three-point range. Up next, what are Trae Young's contract details, and where could he go if he's traded? We're about to find out. Trae Young is represented by Clutch Sports Group agent Omar Wilkes, and he signed a 5-year maximum rookie extension last summer with Atlanta. That's as juicy as a Georgia peach. The deal includes a 2025 early termination option and a 15% trade kicker. The first year of the contract will pay $37.1 million, $40.1 million for year 2, $43 million for year 3, $46 million for year 4, and $49 million for the 5th and final year of the contract. That financial component would play a major role in any trade negotiations. Not surprisingly, Young's fat salary would be challenging for some teams to match, and the Hawks would also want to draft pick compensation in their return package. But let's look at some of the teams that make sense for a point guard like Trae Young. The Chicago Bulls have been a disaster without Lonzo Ball, and while DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine are terrific scorers, they aren't table setters, and it's clear that the Bulls need a point guard. This season, the Miami Heat rank 26th in offensive rating, but defensively, they're a top 10 team. Trae Young can boost Miami's offense. The New York Knicks are hesitant to take the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands because he has been superb in his debut season with the Knicks, and he knows how to work alongside a ball-dominant player like Young. The Orlando Magic could also benefit from Young's handiwork. Imagine Young working his magic alongside Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Wendell Carter Jr. Young would even be a perfect fit for the Timberwolves and would mesh well with Rudy Gobert, who would provide great defensive backup and support for Young. Stay tuned and don't go away because we're revealing 5 takeaways from the Bulls' win over the Hawks plus the latest NBA news. Next up, what are the 5 key takeaways from the Bulls' win over the Hawks? Let's find out. Trae Young is clearly out of his shooting slump and scored 29 points during the first half of the recent game between the Bull and the Hawks. He finished the game with 34 points, including 7 to 14 made three-pointers. With Clint Capella out of commission due to an injury, Onyeka Okongwu will have to do more on the court. And during the game in question, Okongwu did just that, sinking 18 points and 11 rebounds in only 40 minutes of action. After erasing an 18-point deficit, Atlanta seemed to be in control of the game and led 100-92 with 7 minutes and 57 seconds left in regulation. But the Bulls closed off the game with an 18-8 run led by DeMar DeRozan. This was Atlanta's worst blown lead of the season. And for some observers, it's become clear that Atlanta is suffering from a game management problem. There's no excuse for blowing a lead like that. The Hawks have 2 all-star point guards and a former point guard as a head coach. And with 3 points and 18 seconds remaining in the game, DeMar DeRozan was called for a shooting foul on Trae Young. It would have been DeRozan's 6th and final foul, but the Bulls coach Billy Donovan successfully challenged the call and undoubtedly saved the game. Travis Schlenk was the brains behind Atlanta's rebuild and has a near-perfect reputation in the league. But now Landry Fields is at the helm, and it's clear that he has his work cut out for him. The Hawks are floundering, and the team's ownership doesn't want to spend the needed cash to fix the problem. Up next, how did Tyrese Halliburton's late surge lift the Pacers past the Clippers? You're about to find out. On December 31st, the Indiana Pacers and LA Clippers went head-to-head at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Miles Turner scored 34 points. Tyrese Halliburton had 24 points and 10 assists, including 14 points in the final 4 minutes, and the Indiana Pacers held the line for a 131-130 win over Paul George and the Clippers. George scored 45 points, the most by a Clipper player this season, and Kawhi Leonard had 24 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. Leonard missed a three-pointer from the right wing that would have tied the game at 130, and then Halliburton made a free throw with 5.3 seconds left to push Indiana's lead to 131-127 before George hit a 3 as time expired. Buddy Hield finished with 18 points for Indiana, while Aaron Nesmith had 16 and Benedict Mathurin 15. The Pacers shot 52% from the field, and the Clippers finished at 54%, but committed 16 turnovers. Halliburton had 7 rebounds, 4 steals, and led his team in a tense fourth quarter. The Clippers led by 6 with 5 minutes and 27 seconds left on the clock, but with 2 free throws at the 3-minute 47 mark, Halliburton helped his team to a 128-125 lead with only 29 seconds left. Next up, has Giannis Antetokounmpo managed to accomplish something no other player has achieved in 40 years? You bet. Just days after scoring 45 points, 2 rebounds, and 7 assists in the Milwaukee Bucks loss to the Chicago Bulls, Giannis produced another extraordinary performance against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Giannis scored 43 points, 20 rebounds, and 5 assists to lead his team to their first win in 5 games after defeating Minnesota 123-114. Thanks to his performance against the Timberwolves, Giannis, aka the Greek Freak, is the first NBA player to score at least 40 points and 20 rebounds in back-to-back games since Moses Malone back in 1982. With his 5 assists, Giannis joins Wilt Chamberlain and Elgin Baylor as the only players in history capable of producing 40 points plus 20 rebounds plus 5 assists 2 games in a row. Chamberlain did so 5 times, most recently on January 6th and 7th, 1966, and Baylor did it once. Despite his prowess as a ball player and recording-breaking production, the Greek Freak is very humble and doesn't allow his success to go to his head. During a recent interview, Giannis said, "It's a great compliment to be around those guys. I just want to win games, so I just tried to go out there and do whatever I can to push myself to the limit." Furthermore, Giannis is also only the 7th player in NBA history to record at least 40 points, 20 rebounds, and 5 assists while shooting 60% from the field. Since the NBA merged with the ABA in the 1976-77 season, only Charles Barkley and Giannis have done it more than once. Bucks head coach Mike Budenholzer recently spoke of Giannis's skills on the court and says, "His force, his determination, his will, attacking. It's what he's built for." Finally, some NBA trivia. Who has the most slam dunks in NBA history? A slam dunk is a type of basketball shot that is performed when a player jumps in the air, controls the ball above the rim, and shoves the ball directly through the basket with one or both hands. Fans and crowds love to see him, and players love doing them. The NBA's #1 slam dunk king is Dwight Howard with 2,950 dunks, followed by Shaquille O'Neal in the #2 spot with 2,626. Impressive stuff. That's a wrap for today's video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe to our channel.